And here, just the next stage of what we are doing right now is trying to use more advanced computing tools, especially Blue and Argon. It's the largest really supercomputer for open source. There are more powerful computers, but they are geometry based. Well, the workflows you cannot get access to them unless you work for some specific programs. And if you just think about how big computational speed increased compared to 97, it cost like 50,000 per gigaflops in 97. Now you say you have Sony PlayStation 3, it's 40 gigaflops, it's cost 100 bucks. So that's drop is huge. It's huge drop. And here's how Blue Gene is actually. It's all those supercomputers is nothing more than a bunch of PlayStation basically put together. So that's how they kind of scale up. We have small processor. There are four, like 1, 2, 3, 4 cores. This laptop has 2 cores. This one particular chip in Blue Gene has 4 cores, and then they stack them up, and then they have. Well, they now have 160,000 processing nodes. So you do have a little bit more computational power, and you do need to use something like this if you try to do countrywide simulation. Because coming back here, if you do economy like any market clearing kind of computation for one particular province, it's really quick. I mean, it takes seconds, maybe a few seconds. But if you expand your computation, if you try to compute the clearing prices for all those particular provinces and then somehow equilibrate them, that suddenly becomes a hugely computationally intensive problem. For example, for Thailand to compute the whole map, probably 9-10 hours. And if you want to do any more complex model, then LLB, the computation demands are kind of growing up really quickly. And what we're trying to do next is kind of this more advanced model, which will combine highly parallelized approximate dynamic programming. That's the approach that I really like, because it doesn't parallelize your problem in a kind of dumb way. It just doesn't put the same task all over the processing nodes. It only does that in particular points where it's most efficient to do. And this particular technique is kind of like brings the problem from n power n kind of complexity to just simply linear n. So it scales up really nicely. Yeah, of course you lose some precision, but you kind of pick up the points that are not really where the loss of precision is not really important. So this is a really nice technique. And then this recent algorithm for computing competitive equilibrium with heterogeneous agents, which was originally put in place by Francisco Boyer and Zhorin. What they did is actually they found a way to compute classical problem of market clearing, labor and capital markets clearing, but not just for particular point in time, but with heterogeneous agents and forward-looking stochastic problems. No one did that before. It's still, they cannot provide exact justification why this algorithm is working, but so far, all the cases that we tried, it kind of converged. So it kind of works, but we don't know why. And we combine that with this branch of research coming from Professor Townsend, Lottery's approach to moral hazard, solving moral hazard in investing. This approach usually allows to get rid of non-linearities in contract theory, so you kind of get rid of non-convexity, non-linearity, which doesn't allow you to use optimization techniques very well. But the downside is that it increases the dimensionality of the problem tremendously. So you really have to have huge dimension. The matrices that are really have very big dimensions, which do require a lot of computational power to converge, and also they require more advanced method even to calculate the matrices, because the numerical kind of rounding errors become important for such huge linear optimization problem. I hope very soon that will be actually in place. And here I just want to conclude this with this small hierarchical quote that those guys from quantitative finance who actually destroyed your 401k came up after they destroyed 401k. And I mean, you can take it semi-seriously, but this one is kind of, I want to take really serious because you really don't know. I mean, when you put your model in place and you put a number into it, you don't really know where it's going to end and in which hands it's going to end. So I want to kind of stress this point. So you don't really know all the social consequences of the work you're doing, especially in economics. You really have to be really careful that you try to explain as much as, even if you like your results very much and you want to push them, and you want to go to policymaker and say, look, no, policymaker, that's a model that makes a lot of sense, that my results are very good, and you have to modify the policy based on. You really have to be a little bit careful with that, and you have to exactly make explicit really what's the assumption and what's your program is. So that's really, I think it's really important.